Hi, my name's Lindy. Welcome to the channel. This is the third day in a row I'm bringing out a video, which for me is quite unusual, quite exceptional. I have done that in the past, but not for quite some time. So the reason I'm on here again so soon is I've had one of those kind of revelation, aha moments again today, where lots of things have added together and all makes complete sense along the quantum physics side of connection, soul connection, spiritual connection, twin flames. So the title of the video I haven't decided yet, but it'll be somewhere along the lines of the physics, the black hole physics of twin flames and other soul spiritual connections, something along that line. So if we go back to the video I brought out yesterday, where I've come to the conclusion, or almost like a knowing, that we have comprised in our system, so we are like mini replicas of universes within ourselves. So again, we are a universe, our heart is the stargate, we are capable of time travel, we are multidimensional beings. It's all in the now, past, present and future happening now, parallel dimensions happening now, on planet, off planet now. I came to the knowing or awareness yesterday that we also, apart from all of that, as part of that picture, have the equivalent of a black hole within the pain body, which kind of feeds on and swallows up all of those unresolved emotions and unfinished business, and sometimes other people's stuff can accidentally get sucked into that black hole as well and contribute to yours and make that pain body just a little bit bigger and that black hole just a little bit bigger. So this has taken it one step further from the point of view of spiritual connections. So those spiritual connections could be twin flame, which aspect of a soul in multiple human form, meaning souls are in multiple forms. So I am Lindy, but there are multiple other me in multiple realities at the same time. Different name, different age, different sex, and there are multiple me, different name, different age, different sex in this reality all over the world, but on planet and off planet as well. So that's for the definition of twin flame. Remember, this is an experiential channel. I don't speak about anything I haven't experienced firsthand, lived firsthand, or worked with extensively. So then we have soulmates. The definition of soulmates, from my definition of soulmates, people that have connected on a very profound soul level, often have been connected in parallel dimensions or other realities at the same time. Then I created a definition called ascensionary soulmates, which were soulmates really to help each other through the times we're in now and what's ahead. More aligned with what I call new energy ascension templates, meaning they weren't soulmates to finish old business or old karmic patterns or old contractual things or anything like that. Matching consciousness, another of my definitions. Spiritual connections or consciousness connections that may or may not have a relation to one another in the soul, but certainly have matching dynamics in terms of their spiritual energy and consciousness. Catalysts, spiritual catalysts, catalysts that speed up one's evolution, bump one onto a path, speed things up. Again, may be connected in soul, may not be connected in soul. May have similar dynamics, often have similar energy signatures or powerful energy signatures in relation to one another to get things to speed up for one another and help one another. Trying to think if I've missed any definitions out. So we're coming into the time of conscious connection, conscious relationships. So in terms of, so I'm defining this so you'll see where I'm going next. So if we go back to me saying about the black holes, from the point of twin flames, same soul being, or twin flame union, historically, and that was my entry point to the heart, coming through that process, that has been my entry point to the heart many years ago now, the original entry point to the heart, about 2010 originally. Historically, they have been hit with loads of stuff going on to do with the pain body, and loads of stuff to do with the family, and loads of dynamics really related to the magnetics of the soul and all of these things, and triggering well beyond the level of the two people involved. And pretty much people have never have known why. Basically, they've known it's connected to the family dynamics. They know it's connected to the bloodlines. They know they've been processing for the collective. They know it's a template. This is almost like old news. What I have come to the realization of is the kind of missing element, so to speak, is the black holes. The black hole in people's pain bodies, when you get the same soul being, for point of definition, I'm referring to a same soul being as twin flames, or other spiritual connections, other connections that are very similar, like a horse out of a horse out of the same kind of stable. Those black holes within the pain body merge. It means the two black holes merge. They almost collide with one another and merge together, creating a kind of cosmic energetic event in a way. And within that merge, one almost eclipses or swallows up the other one. And this is a huge key reason. I really feel strongly, I would almost say on the knowing on this, why a lot of same soul beings historically have not come together alongside each other or around each other. Because if that balance isn't to absolute ultimate perfection, one literally swallows up the other one. And I've been using that terminology for years now, since 2010, about this. One can eclipse the other, and the other literally get completely drained or almost like taken over by the energy of the other one because of the sheer physics. Not just the personalities involved. It's much bigger than the personalities involved. It's the physics of it. Because of the black hole, the pain bodies, the black holes, which become massive when two black holes join together. So that's two lots of family lineages, two lots of soul family stuff, and the collective stuff and their stuff, the black holes running together. And if it's not in perfect synergy, you can get a complete eclipsing of somebody's energy so that they're totally drained down, swallowed up, they disappear into the other person, sometimes without even knowing it, and sometimes it's obvious, or sometimes it takes place over a period of time. So it has to be 100% on the button. And that's why historically so many haven't come together, because of the form of that. They've come together more in terms of other spiritual connections like matching consciousness, ascensionary soulmates, or they've come together in a form where they're not around each other 24/7, you know, there is some space. Like, in a way, it's difficult to get that energetic space in a connection like that. This is the problem, because of the physics of it. So then you add into something else, and I will put the link to a video below this one. Years ago, I don't know if it was 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe longer, brought out a video called Supermassive Black Hole. And I'm going to put the link to that under this video, because that was when I discovered that there were these inverted black holes looped around that template and looped within the lightworker industry. And then I found out in the years following the loop, they're looped everywhere. And sometimes, let's say I've discovered really sometimes to do the nature of physics, but sometimes it's almost like they're constructed that way because they swallow up all the energy. Think about the twin flame template, or as a main ascension template to coming into a unified state of 0 point energy. That is a powerful energy. That's like a nuclear bomb going off. That's a lot of energy to harness. That's a juicy energy to hijack. And I was blowing the whistle on this many years ago, but I've only just got the last bits of the picture literally all this time later today. So you've got the two black holes collide, run together, make a even bigger black hole, and one, almost certainly, if it's not completely balanced out, one is going to completely absorb the other one. So you won't have two black holes anymore. You'll have one, and it's like a merge, but both have to be 100%, all the magnetics, all the physics, everything in the personality, everything in the pain body, everything in the history, tip top, 100%. So one doesn't completely eclipse the other. Outside of that is attracted to the mere nature of the black holes a supermassive black hole. Supermassive black hole attracted to the energy of the black holes individually, but two together, wow, really attracted to that. This again totally aligns with what I've been talking about for years on my YouTube channel, where historically that template has been multiple times hijacked for the amount of energy it releases. And there's a huge history with people that are once meet another aspect of themselves being triggered into terrible long-term historical suffering. Believe me, I hear it all over the world. People telling me that they just can't get over the twin flame, or they can't get past that, and this runs into years for people, not a couple of weeks, years. And I've realized today why that has been that way. And it's been that way because of the size of the black holes. When they get together, they're huge. So it expands the size of the pain body. So if the pain body was an average size, it's like triple that size or even bigger as a result of the meeting there. And it's not only is it connected to the families and the lineage and the collective, but the size of the black holes almost mean that everything is amplified. So the feelings are amplified, the pain is amplified, the suffering is amplified, everything's amped up. This is why people historically have taken such a long time to kind of come to terms with it. And it's not because they're weak or obsessed with the other person or there's something wrong with them. It's because of the actual physics and dynamics of it's in quantum physics. The black hole sucks and draws everything into it. So you've got two black holes, they merge, so the pain bodies merge, overlapping with the family, the collective, and the soul family. and the two merging, there's a great possibility that one gets eclipsed by the other unless you're in tip-top balance throughout the entire system. And it attracts a supermassive black hole, which just wants to take and consume the whole lot of it and draw off the whole lot of it. And that is why I feel that there's been so much people getting stuck and trapped within the gravitational field of the pain body black holes, which are amplified if two pain bodies merge, and even bigger if a supermassive black hole moves in. It's like a shark moving in by the sheer dynamics of it. Now, just knowing that's what it is, I hope is a huge relief to you, because it certainly was to me. Knowing that when you've been beating yourselves up for years, it's a lot of this has been quantum dynamics and quantum physics, and not something wrong with you guys, or that you've beaten yourself up, that why do you keep looping round and round? You do loop. It's quantum physics. You'll be going round and round the black hole. Knowing that, I'm hoping it creates a release, because you can realize then when you're unconsciously doing something, you have no idea that it's going on. When you realize it consciously, you can consciously take some control over it, because at the end of the day, you are creators. You are creationary beings. This is one of the huge powers that we have. We create our own universe. We create our own black holes in a way. So when you know it's happening, you can do something consciously that creates an aha moment, and then it releases almost like some things that are locked within you, and you don't have to participate that in anymore. Not just that, but the pain body almost bloats and swells up, and it links into the black hole becomes bigger and bigger. And so again, it links to the video yesterday, and it links to the video I brought out, Supermassive Black Hole. Because how would you ever fill that up? You can't take enough drugs or alcohol to fill that. You can't have enough sex to fill that. You can't have enough food to fill that. It's two black holes merging and a supermassive black hole attracted to that. Don't beat yourself up anymore. You could never do enough to fill that up. And I'm talking really mainly here to more of the old energy running connections, because this is very applicable to old soul magnetic energy. But this does apply to spiritual connections as well. Not only that, but it also links with my video on soul shock. Because when one black hole is merging with another black hole, it sets off a vibratory state and all sorts of waves and sounds that creates kind of a shock, like an earthquake going off. Can you imagine how you as a human being, your body would interpret that? Can you imagine how your mind would interpret that? Can you imagine how you would interpret that? Your consciousness. Your consciousness would shit itself, quite frankly. Want to run for the hills. It can feel like a nuclear bomb is going off. It can feel like the Big Bang is happening. And I've called so many of my videos things along the tide of the Big Bang. And I've really been describing it for years and not realizing what I've been describing and just adding all the dots up now. Which is why I refer to that channel of mine, that YouTube channel, is a template in real time, living it, learning it as I was going along, according to my awareness and consciousness at that time, but is a living organic template from beginning to end. So it sets off soul shock. So you can imagine how big that is for one soul being, twin flames, but it also applies to other connections. Soulmates whose black holes are merging or has a supermassive black hole in the wing, so to speak. Spiritual connections, any kind of spiritual connection could be subject to this. Now, there are certain connections that seem to be in the clear of it, and maybe their energy dynamics, because they haven't got the old soul gravitational field involved in it and involved in the coding of the pain body, maybe their black holes are much smaller, or they don't run together like that and they're not subject to this. It just doesn't happen, or extremely rare. But it does seem to happen with the old form of magnetics. Add into that, and again, I'll put the reference to the video that I did before, Supermassive Black Hole, that I feel that there are naturally occurring supermassive black holes that feed on black holes in the pain body. But I feel that there are unnaturally occurring ones that are deliberately set up with an intelligence behind them that feeds on what pours into the supermassive black hole, which is your pain, your suffering, your emotion, for an indefinite period, looping round it, keeping you trapped, circling round it. Just knowing this, just having this awareness will set you free. Just having this awareness and knowing will set you free. In hypnotherapy training, we call it conscious competence. When we don't know something's happening and we're unconsciously doing it, I mean, it sounds like a brutal term, but it's a psychological term. It's a psychology term. It's called, I think it's called unconscious incompetence. When we know it's conscious competence, we know then, aha, and we just don't energetically contribute to it anymore. We don't contribute to it anymore. Just knowing it changes your consciousness and stops it. What else stops it is freeing up your bits of what is going in that pain body, but cut yourself some slack here, because that is not all your stuff. It is the energetics of the person you connected with. It is the collective. It is the families that you connected with, the bloodlines that you connected with, all went into that melting pot. And then if the black holes run together and you've got a supermassive black hole involved, wow, it's massive, isn't it? It's like a nuclear explosion, really, in space. So that's what's going on with definitely same soul beings, especially the old form of it, old soul magnetic energy. Not the new wave ones. They don't seem to be subject to this, but the old school ones definitely subject to it. And historically, I've seen the carnage from it and lived it. So, and picked up the pieces for years. So I know that's true. Matching consciousness, catalyst, this probably doesn't affect very often at all. I don't think I've got any on record that affects, actually. Ascensionary soulmates, pretty much free of it. Old soulmates may be subject to it, some of the any spiritual connection, and definitely same soul spiritual connections, or what you would call twin flames in the old form. There are echoes of it throughout. If you really think of that as the original twin flame union, or twin flames equating to the black holes, large black holes, and attracting supermassive black holes historically, let's say in the past, or how it has been, it may be changing rapidly now because we're into different waves of those connections now. And let's call catalysts, let's call ascensionary soulmates, let's call matching consciousness, let's call conscious connections, stars, neutron stars, all part of our universe, all very beautiful, much less life-changing in a way. And I was going to say much less damaging, because it can be really emotionally damaging to be trapped in that around a black hole and not know you've been doing that for a long time. You know, that the softness of neutron stars, still powerful, But if you think about the other connections as stars. So yeah, amazing, really amazing. So all the pieces are there, really. All the pieces are there. And all the pieces are there on the YouTube channel. But today was the day again. It seems to just be one of this run of it at the moment where it all ran together. And again, it was like, oh my God, you know, just suddenly all the pieces added up again. And again, it is significant because that is a main ascension template. But that is something that anyone is subject to. Anyone going through a big transformational process that is linked to a large pain body with a big black hole, if they link to another person with a large pain body and a big black hole, those two big black holes can link together and attract a supermassive black hole. It's more likely to happen in the dynamics of a twin flame scenario, because there aren't the same, let's say, boundaries there anyway, because it's the same soul aspect, so it's more likely to run together. I think I'm talking more historically from the old form and not the newer waves of these connections, which aren't subject to the same soul magnetics and the same challenges that, let's say, the earlier generations were, or even my generation 12 years ago was. And on that note, I am going to love you and leave you. Again, I hope you found that interesting, and take care until we meet again. See you soon. Bye.